now have greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees given by Trustee Dr. Jerome Williams.
Good evening. Is this the best graduating class of Alabama A&M University? The very best class? On behalf of the Governor, Kay Ivey, and the other members of the Board of Trustees, I congratulate you on your momentous achievement. Your education here at A&M has prepared you to be effective and productive citizens in a global society. Citizens who engage in democracy, excel in your chosen field of endeavor, and embrace honest, fair play, integrity, and consideration of others. As you depart, be bold, be courageous, and be your very best. Alabama A&M is counting on you. And again, to the very best class of Alabama A&M University, congratulations. Now let me introduce you to the rest of our Board of Trustees. Would you please stand? Members of our board, please stand. Thank you.
Now will we all please stand as we are led in the Heritage Hymn by our choir under the direction of Dr. Horace Connie. Lift every voice and sing. Would you please stand? may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our speaker for the spring 2018 commencement of Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University. An excerpt from our alma mater states, "Many thy brave and loyal sons sent from thy shrine on Normal's hills, filled with a zeal for a task well done, anxious thy mandates to fulfill." Our speaker's life and accomplishments are exemplary of a loyal son of Alabama A&M who has devoted his life to fulfilling the mandates for task well done. Our speaker is a former educator, an author, a leader, a corporate and foundation relations officer, a family man, and an able public servant. From his early years, our speaker has exhibited exceptional leadership skills which came to fruition here at Alabama A&M University while he was a student. In June 2006, he was elected as chairman of the National Education Association NEA Student Program, where he represented more than 62,000 college students on more than 1,100 campuses nationwide. In this role, he worked out of the NEA headquarters in Washington, D.C. His leadership and collaboration with a myriad of organizations fostered the passage of the College Cost and Reduction Act of 2007, which was signed into law by President George Bush. It was during this time that I met an aspiring, budding politician who would later distinguish himself in the political arena. Today, our speaker, the Honorable Anthony Daniels, represents the 53rd District in the Alabama State House of Representatives. Not only is he providing able leadership for his district, but he has made history by becoming the first African American and the youngest person to serve as minority House leader in the history of Alabama. In this role, he champions support of economic development, human resources, is a leading voice on the issues of college access and affordability, and of course, a love for education, which he developed here at Alabama A&M University, majoring in elementary education and later special education. For his many contributions to advancing humankind, he has been recognized and honored by numerous community, professional, and educational organizations. A more detailed bio of this upcoming trailblazer that we will certainly be hearing a lot more about in the future may be found in the program. However, he would want me to be certain to note that he is married to his lovely wife, Dr. Tanisha Daniels, and he's the father of 3 children, Abigail, Madison, and the latest addition, Anthony Jr. Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming home our loyal son and another testament that with a degree from Alabama A&M University, you can start here and go anywhere, the Honorable Representative Anthony Daniels.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. To the Alabama A&M Board of Trustee members, President Andrew Hughini Jr., First Lady Abigail Hughini, Provost Dr. Daniel Wims, and all administration, faculty, and staff, and alumni of this great university. But before I begin my remarks, you always note individuals that stand up for universities like Alabama A&M. So at this particular time, I would like to acknowledge my colleague, Representative Laura Hall, who represent this area in Alabama A&M University. But more importantly, I want to recognize her for leading the effort to get Alabama A&M $1.5 million on last evening. As I indicated, my family, unfortunately, my wife gives her regards. She was not able to be here. We have a 4-week-old, I'm sorry. When you're not getting sleep, you don't know what day it is or how long it is. But today, I have my mother-in-law and my 2-year-old, Miss Abigail Daniels. And to the spring 2018 graduating class of Alabama A&M University. Our university founder will be proud of the work that our wonderful president and administration has done by taking this university to new heights, increasing enrollment, breaking and shadowing fundraising goals, and just taking this university to the next level. So let's give our president, Dr. Andrew Hughini, a round of applause. I would like to begin with a little story from a man that came from Washington, D.C. to visit Huntsville, Alabama. He came to Huntsville to give a sermon. So he ended up coming to Huntsville and staying at the embassy suite, and where he was giving remarks was about 4 blocks away. And so he decided to walk. And when he was walking, he ended up getting lost. So he ran across 3 young men on the sidewalk. And he said to them, "Can you help me find City Hall?" And one young man said, "Yes, you're only 2 blocks away." And he gave him directions. And the other young man with him on the sidewalk, he said, "Why are you going to City Hall?" He said that, "I'm going to City Hall to give a sermon on how to get to heaven." And he said, "Would you guys like to come? You can be my special guest." And the young man that kept his head down the entire time suddenly raised his head, looked the man in the eye, and said, "Are you kidding me? You can't even get to City Hall. How are you going to tell somebody how to get to heaven?" So I'm going to do my best today. Each one of us have that moment when we realize our own power, our own potential to influence and to act, to bring into being our vision of what our world can and should be, living in our own purpose. This is what being an Alabama A&M graduate is all about, helping you find and live in your purpose. So let's give our graduates a round of applause. Jim Collins, in his book, Good to Great, says that good is the enemy of great. He goes on to explain that many people and organizations fail to realize their fullest potential because of their deep satisfaction with just being good. Well, not here at Alabama A&M University. Our students are great, especially the class of 2018. Graduates, this is your day. But you should know that this is also a very special day for your family and friends who are here with you. There are 2 young ladies, 2 little girls, sisters, playing on the ice. And the older sister, who was about 4 or 5 years older, fell into the ice. And the younger sister had to act fast. And so what she did, she looked in the distance and she saw this tree. She ran and climbed the tree and broke down a branch and returned and extended the branch and saved her sister. So the paramedics and everyone came, and they were amazed, how is it that this frail young lady was able to save her sister? And so there was a wise man that saw it all from the distance, and he said, "I saw everything." And so they turned to him and said, "Tell me what happened. How did she do it?" He said that she did it because there was no one there to tell her that she could not. So family graduates, our family members, I want the family members of our graduates and the faculty and staff of this university, graduates, I want us to give them a round of applause for telling you that you can. You probably have no idea what they've gone through to help you reach this day. The worry, the work, the heartache, but most of all, the love. There's a young boy who lived in a place called Winterfield, South Africa, not Wakanda. Just to give you an idea of Winterfield, South Africa, it's one of the poorest townships in South Africa. The youth live in homes made of mud with dozens of people living in 1 and 2 bedroom homes, the size of the smallest classroom at our university. They have no electricity, no running water, no transportation. So they had to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning just to get to school at 8. Someone asked a young man who was a teenager at the time how he endured despite the challenges, the tough moments, and the hopelessness around him. This young man had the wisdom to say that my destiny is of my own design. Today, this young man is a lawyer and has started a nonprofit to deliver healthcare services, clean water, and improved sanitation in developing countries who would otherwise not have it. And so, graduating class of 2018, my message to you today is that your destiny is of your own design. When I was a young man, I knew that my destiny was of my own design. You know, today, it was 13 years ago that I sat where you are. You know, today is particularly an honor for me, a young man 1 generation removed from being born on a plantation in the land of former Governor Wallace, in the place of Jim Crow, in the home of the field trials, Midway, Alabama. My presence here today would have been unlikely. I am the descendant of a grandfather who was born into a family of sharecroppers, picking cotton, tilling fields, and herding goats on a large plantation. His entire life, he lived from hand to mouth. My grandfather attended school in a 1-room schoolhouse and only attained a 4th grade education. I am the descendant of a grandmother who was raised on this same plantation, who had to walk several miles down a dirt road in order to get to school. She, too, only attained a 6th grade education. My mother, the second oldest of 9 children, was born on this same plantation, but my grandparents had a different vision for her life. They had a vision of progression and prosperity, a vision unseen during their lifetime. You know, it wasn't until 1978, 4 years before I was born, that my grandparents were able to move off that plantation into a nearby community. This marked the beginning of their vision coming to fruition for their children. They envisioned my mother getting married, gaining decent employment, and making a better life for herself, one that she and the entire family could be proud of. My story: I was born in Florida but brought to Alabama when I was 2 months old to live with my grandparents. I grew up similar to your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, shelling peas, getting eggs from the chickens, and even going to the rolling store, something that you guys can't relate to. But the worst day of my life was the day that my grandmother passed when I was in 5th grade, and my grandmother died in the bed next to me of colon cancer. From 5th grade to 12th grade, I lived in 6 different households with different family members who loved me. Like many of you, many of the young people here today, I thought that I was going to be a professional athlete. I thought that was going to be my ticket out of my community to the rest of the world. But God had a different plan. I caught a ride to Alabama A&M University, where my life will be changed forever. Alabama A&M University, for me, was a home away from home. You know, they took care of me. I remember times in West Cafeteria where Pops would give me extra food to go to my dorm room at night because he knew my situation. Or Alfred Baker, who gave me my first job in student activities so that I can go to summer school. Or Karen Foster, who encouraged me to get involved in the Student Alabama Education Association. Or the late Waylon Sims and Dennis Howe, who would accept me into that noble clan of Kappa Alpha Psi. Or John Vickers, who would give me my first scholarship. Or Tammy Alexander or Rita Lott, who would push me to do my best. Or Marjorie Battle, who would get me in line when I got out of line. Or Hilda Calhoun, who would do everything in her power to keep me straight. Or the faculty and staff in the education department who would truly treat me like their own. I know that I wouldn't have received this experience anywhere else in America. Despite the long lines in financial aid and while walking from Morris Hall to West Cafeteria and all the different skunks that you would encounter. I still love this university. As I reflect on the opportunities that was bestowed upon me, I'm compelled to give back. It's my duty and honor to give back to this institution that have given so much to me. All of us have the responsibility to give back and reach back and turn back and lift up and support the next generation. Each of us have an origin story. You've heard mine. Think about your origin story for a moment. It explains how you came to where you are at this moment. Your origin story helps you identify the defining experience that pushed you to reach this moment. You made a decision to become not just a part of this amazing class of graduates, but pioneers of the future and instruments of change. You must stand in that power, boldly, unapologetically, relentlessly. From this day forward, you have a responsibility to speak up and speak out. Stand up for justice, for truth, and for opportunity. No one is giving you permission to just sit back and remote control in and offer color commentary about who's up and who's down. If you really want to make your mark on the world, you must get in the game. Strap up and tighten your laces. It was this university and the faith that my grandma instilled in me that helped me overcome all the different obstacles that I've faced in my life. My parents and grandparents both are only shared an improbable love, but an enduring faith in the possibilities of this country, but also a vision about the importance of education. They envisioned me going to college, getting married, and living a prosperous life. And although they're passed away now, I know that they're smiling down on me and pushing me to reach for the stars. And so as I stand here today, humble and keenly aware that I am the sum of my grandparents and parents' enduring vision for me to succeed, I stand here knowing that our stories are not unique, but simply threads woven into the untold story that makes up the great fiber of this university. A university where dreams come true and visions still lead the way. I like what one scholar said when they said that we must be more than just humans being. We must be humans doing, humans changing, humans transforming. This is what Alabama A&M graduates do. This is who we are. This is what makes the lives of children and grandchildren of sharecroppers more than just a footnote in history, but a footprint on the world. Many of you recently seen this movie, Jumanji. Welcome to the Jungle starring The Rock and Kevin Hart. Or maybe you haven't because you're studying so hard. There was a great scene in the movie where four young people, for various reasons, ended up in detention to learn a valuable lesson from their principal. He said, here's what you should be thinking about: who you are. You've got one life, you decided how you're going to spend it. My challenge to you today is think about who you are and how you're going to spend the rest of your life. This is just the beginning. You have to continue to learn, continue to educate yourself. You know, every time I see an Alabama A&M student, I remember the dreams that I used to have. And I remember looking at them and understanding that I'm seeing a reflection of one person dreaming and the other one living the dream. But understand that dreams without goals are just dreams. And I know that every time an Alabama A&M student look at me, he or she has the confidence to know that they too can dream and that anything is possible. Because starting here and going anywhere is what our motto is. Your decisions may be unsung, but the good that you do is beyond measure. Your decision would undoubtedly transform despair into hope. And like those who went before us, we will strive to make this nation a more perfect union and this world a better place. What matters is what difference we're making right here, right now, while we have a chance. A&M graduates, we won't solve every problem, but we will leave this world a better place than how we found it. For that, I believe, is our destiny. I had the opportunity recently to visit California. And along the coast of California, you have these cedar trees. They appear to be very strong, but their roots are shallow. When one tree falls, others follow. But the fascinating things about these trees is what holds them up. They lean on each other. Their branches touch and support one another. Not one of them can stand alone. As you travel this journey, remember that you're not alone. You have your fellow graduates, you have your family and friends, and you have the support of one of the greatest institutions that this world has ever known, Alabama A&M University. And you get to a point to where you feel down and that you can't go anymore. Remember what Fannie Lou Hamer said when she said, the things that I'm saying may have no impact on you, but I'm going to keep saying and saying until it drives you crazy too. And remember what Mary Ann Williamson said when she said that our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate, our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And you feel that it's getting even tougher. And I close. When things go wrong, and they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, 2018 graduates, rest if you must, but doggone it, don't you quit. Thank you, and God bless you.
Representative Daniels, would you please return to the podium? We'd like to present you with the first Distinguished Service Award from Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University. Provost Wims will read the inscription.
This Distinguished Service Award is presented to the Honorable Anthony Daniels in recognition of exemplary governmental service indicative of the university's motto, "Service is Sovereignty." For historic service and achievement as the youngest and first African American to serve as House Minority Leader in the Alabama House of Representatives, for serving as a role model to current and future students of Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University, demonstrating what they can accomplish through hard work and determination, for being a living ambassador and proving that with a degree from Alabama A&M University, one can start here and go anywhere, for inspiring our students to strive for greatness through your timely, challenging, and encouraging message as the speaker for the Spring 2018 commencement of Alabama A&M University. Alabama A&M University proudly hails you as a recipient of the Distinguished Service Award, giving this 4th day of May 2018, signed Andrew Eugenie Jr., President, and Chris Robinson, Secretary of the Alabama A&M University Board of Trustees.
It is now my pleasure to make a special presentation to the Golden Class of 1968. Would the Golden Class please come forward?
Mr. Walter C. Beard. Mrs. Mildred Buford. Mr. Ernest Bazell. Mrs. Wilma Tibbs Booker. Dr. Robert E. Bozeman. Dr. Sylvia T. Bozeman. Mrs. Gladys Smith Branch. Mr. John E. Branch. Mrs. Brenda Thrasher Brown. Dr. Charles E. Cannon. Mr. Langdon Bertram Conaway. Mrs. Bessie Ballard Kahn. Mrs. Etta M. Butler Davis. Mr. William E. DeBartolation. Dr. Dorothy Sloans-Durr. Mrs. Flora Ingram Ector. Mrs. Judy Johnson Edmond. Dr. Patricia Larkin Elzey. Mr. William Douglas Fales. Mrs. Julene Farley Bean. Mrs. Mary Alice Dees Fisher. Chief James Garner. Mr. Henry Guilford. Mrs. Ollie Hannon Guilford. Miss Ruth Gordon. Mrs. Sandra Sissom Graham. Mr. Tommy Grayson. Mr. Larry Hamilton. Mrs. Jane C. Harper Pettis. Dr. Louise A. Yelding Hayes. Mrs. Dorothy Johnson Hicks. Mrs. Nellie Ree Ragland Henry. Mrs. Virginia Oliver Russell. Miss Eloise Moncrief Hester. Mrs. Josephine Horn Grayson. Mr. Robert G. Howard. Mrs. Addie Moore Jackson. Miss Moselle Jaffrey. Mr. James L. Jennings. Mr. Elijah Jones. Mrs. Barbara Wilkerson Kite. Dr. Irene Williams Lawson. Mrs. Dathia Francis Means. Mrs. Frances Yelder Merritt.
Mrs. Dorothy Chambers Moore. Mr. Wendell L. Morgan. Ms. Marie Braun Morris. Mrs. Barbara Hurt Morrow. Mr. Albert L. Morrow. Ms. Susie M.K. Patton. Mr. Ralph T. Redrick. Mrs. Fannie H. Rhodes. Miss Walinda M. Richardson. Mrs. Corinthia Huffman Sims. Ms. Gladys Bracy Smith. Mrs. Judy Cannon Smith. Mrs. Annie M. Smith Parham. Mrs. Annie Louise Cunningham Sowell. Ms. Hazel Harris Taylor. Mr. Johnny C. Travick. Mrs. Mary A. Johnson Turner. Mr. E. Leon Weaver. Mrs. Irma M. Works.
Congratulations again to the Golden Class, the class of 1968. Ladies and gentlemen, prior to the recognition of our graduates for the awarding of degrees by Dr. Daniel Wims, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs and Research, I would like to share with you some information about the class of 2018. Today we will award 549 degrees. Of that number, 203 will be awarded to graduate students and 346 will be undergraduate degrees. For the undergraduate degree recipients, 58% are males and 58% are female and 42% are males. Based on information from our career development services, 43% of our graduates have secured employment. 15% will be continuing their education, and 2% will be entering the military. 16 of our graduates have reported salary offers of $70,000 or more, with the highest offer being $96,990. We have 179 students that will be graduating with honors. However, we would like to recognize those students graduating with a perfect 4.0 average and ask that they stand as I call their names. Hannah Ballsmeyer, Riley Ballsmeyer, James Millenham, Jason Perry, and Jasmine Walker. In the class, we have siblings: Hannah Ballsmeyer, Riley Ballsmeyer, Conrad Pierre, Lance Pierre, and Lester Pierre. Alabama A&M University continues to be the institution of choice. We have 130 students that are first-generation college graduates. Would you please stand? We have 24 individuals that are second-generation Alabama A&M graduates, and they are Emily Marie Lipinski, Pierre Walls, Shakora McDowell, Alexandria Lewis, Brandon Cook, please stand as your name is called, Courtney Earl, Deviante Nixon, Jalen Wright, Christopher Whitfield, James Willis, Chelsea Rivers, Taylor Avery, Frederick Walker, Conrad Pierre, Lance Pierre, Lester Pierre, Cornelia Howard, James Penn, English McKinley, DeMarco Coleman, Cornelius Williams II, Devin Mitchell, Krista Dees, and Vernon Molan. Second-generation graduates. We have 6 graduates that are third-generation graduates of Alabama A&M University. They are Tiffany Boyd, LeBron King, Kadia Cosby, Kadarius Andrews, Johnny Flowers II, and Courtney Dorsey. We have 3 graduates that are 4th generation Alabama A&M graduates. Would you please stand? They are Morgan Crutcher, Elria Jones, and Michael Land, 3rd generation. The oldest undergraduate student graduating in our class today is Miss Terry J. Brown, who is 57 years of age, and she is an honor student. Miss Brown, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2018. Provost Wims, would you come at this time and present the class, please?
President Ugini, members of the Board of Trustees, platform guests, I now call upon the deans of the various colleges to present their candidates for degrees.
Provost Williams.
Dean Dunn.
Based upon the recommendation of faculty in the graduate studies, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for the graduate degree. Will the candidates please rise?
Mr. President, I am pleased to present the candidates for the conferral of graduate degrees.
Will the candidates for the doctoral degrees please come forward for the conferring of the degrees?
Stephanie Ryan Kate Gibson. Felicia Raglan Haywood. Dion L. Jordan Hamilton.
Will the master's degree candidates come forward to receive your diplomas?
Mohammed Hassan. Brendan Quadelius Johnson. Toya McCassell Aritres. Davida Eppinger. Megan Chantel Powell Howard. Derek L. Price. Jasmine Crumpton. Carissa Davis. Ashley Nicole Eason. Ebony Monique Stallworth. Jasmine Chanel Johnson. Tracy Lee Cook. Brianna Jonice Bauber. Willie J. Hughley. George Oliver. Tyree M. Whitson. Ryan Sellers. Nicholas Darrell Johnson. Amber Monique Staples. Lakeisha Stewart. Gerald C. Taylor. Skylar Suzanne Carter. Tommy C. Bryant. Janesha Krishanda Hayes. Shaquita McBride. Cache Nixon. Ambedkar Penham. Demetrius Payne. Princess Pelmar Ritchie. Adrian Pritchett. Babatunde Sanusi. Christian Sims. Christopher Sledge. Ubang Jacobs Hufat. Derek L. Jackson. John Edward Clayton Thornton. Tamara Angelique Daniels Robinson. Deidre Marsha Huff. Tremere Mose Miles. Keitra Creighton. Galatia Ford. Jasmine Mitchell. Alexis Dorethia Montgomery. Tiffany Takuris. Desrius D.L. Watkins. Latoya Michelle Clemens. Adonis Deshaun Cook. Matthew J. Cotton. Alonzo Lee Dukes III. Tevin Ibrian Rice. Chelsea Campbell. Ebony Horrison. Collins Holloway III. Jennifer Idest Randolph. Erica Colette Washington. Chandrika Deshar Woods. Haley Archer. Anna Barea. Jasmine Benson. Amy Borden. Jennifer Duncan. Theodore Crittenden Allen. Tyranny Chantel Bullard. Ayana Lavette Burleson. Shabria Nicole Campbell. Charles Coleman III. Joseph Diggins. Aisha L. Foreman. Dantes Glenn. Ashanti Gray. Rosalind Guyton. Shanna Hudson. Christopher Huff. Angelica Hunter. Jasmine M. Jackson. Kiara Jenkins. Charmaine Anne-Marie Michaels. Amanda L. Moore. Janella R. Morgan. Tynika Rogers. Shamika Sears. Wissam Shash. Ashley Patrice Tate. Reginald Liddell Benson. Tia Nicole Clayton. Michael Rashawn Freeman. Ralph Edward Marshall. Jasmine Shantae Morgan. Bill Edward Rice. Desiree Renee Alexander. Dominique Armstrong. Candace Chanel Arnold. Naya R. Barr. Christine Michelle Bells. Marquisa Bowler Allen. Darlisha Lynette Boykin. Prisana Lillian Brooks. Alexis Bunley. Tiffany Carr. Tiambra Chess. Latasha Coachman. Kendra Colger. Cameron Lewis Connor. Janora Elizabeth Cruz. Chanel Dixon. Ashley Dumas. Glendia Duncan. Tiffany Etheridge. Talisha K. Fields. Sierra Gallen. Christopher L. Gilliam. Catherine Denise Gilmore. Ashley Chantel Gordon. Desiree A. Hanna. Chandel Allison Rihanna Harris. Badria Giovanna Hickman. Latoya Horton. Janida Huell. Daphne Cherie Jackson. Marquita Johnson. LaQuisha Johnson Bridges. Cameron Jones. Courtney Danielle Jones. Jamise Jordan. Cheryl D. Lane. Veronica Taylor Vashon Lewis. Darren Tyree McCray. Marsha Mercedes McDermott. Latisha Shanice McHurd Lee. Carolyn Denise McShane. Jalinda Michelle Mitchell. Lauren Olivia Mitchell.
Nakaria Mosley. Melissa Murray. Ikethia Patrice Patterson. Taralyn Rowell. Shaquetta Sabb. Shakira Simmons. Marquette Simon. Jessica Smith. Renda Jo Smith. Rodney A. Smith. Ashley Nicole Staten. Alexis Washington. Martinez Terry. Yonette Veronica Victor. Jessica P. Young. Demetric Anderson. Joe Bates. Shina Cherie Dale. Sarah Davis. Jamie T. Gleaton. Lavita D. Jackson. April Denise McDaniel. Kirsten Moore. Shasha Mujica. Shonda Scott. Kieran Vance. Jimmy Lee Vaughn. Keith Gordon Wainwright. Mohammed Shoaib Khan. Raven Georgiana King. Sai Jayanth Reddy. Andre H. Wright. Desetria Ann Akole. Corteris C. Richmond. Jade Douglas.
Provost Swims,
Dean Walker.
based on the recommendation of the faculty in the College of Agriculture, Life and Natural Sciences, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Will the candidates please rise and come forward to receive your diplomas?
Rashid D. Artis. Jaleesa Simone Buck. Tyler Lamar Chapman. Krista Dion Dees. Harvey Harris. Carl Wesley Henry Jr. Anthony Darrell Holloway. Trevor Jermaine James. Kiana Janae Kirksey. Saritha Pride. Melissa Robinson. Kiera Deanne Sidbury. Jerome Simmons. Victoria Yvonne Gibson. Emily Marie Lipinski. Jasmine Simone Minity. Candace S. Moore. Gabrielle Nicole Stevenson. Kimberly Nunnery Ackland. Hannah Irene Bossmeyer. Chad DeForest Bridgewaters. Jasmine Janae Clark. China Gail Coleman. Kadia Nicole Cosby. Kimani Lynn Crawford. Stephen Royer Douglas. Courtney Danielle Earl. Shekinah Naomi Eason. Marissa Eva Frazier. Deja Glenn. Zahara Hands. Kimoria House. Jakira Jackson. Winston Jermaine Jackson. Danyan Johnson. Daria Daphne Johnson. Tyranny Lamoria Johnson. Kia Alexandra Lang. Clanisha Kiera Elizabeth Manson. Brianna Nicole Miller. Deontay Martez Nixon. Brianna J. Pace. Arkita Phillips. Lachey Nicole Ragland. Stephen Ryan Roberts II. Ralph Leon Robinson. Alicia Ronette Tillman. J. Dion Traylor. Victoria Alexandra Womack. Kellen Banks. Demara Janelle Colger. Hunter Tate. Tiana T. Brown. Janishiana M. Buchanan. Christina G. Calico. Mercedes Lynn Carter. Brittany Danielle Chadwick. Princess A. Davis. Jordan Lachey Harnett. Waniqua Falana Hayes. Hicks. Hannah Tahir Jenkins. James Oliver McClanahan. Taryn Christina Jolly. Clanicia K. Jordan. Candace Renee Silcott. Nastasia Story. Keila Renee Washington. Khadijah Ba. Angel L. Baldwin. Loretta Grant. Marissa Geneva Louise Moore. Michael Hutchins. Deontay Johnson. Alex McCord. Jasmine McGinnis. James Michael Penn. Wyfred E. Phillips. Justin Frederick Prayer. Lawson Quick. William Kenneth Reed III. Ariel Nicole Jones. Jewel Armani Richardson.
Provost Wims.
Dean Smith.
Based upon the recommendation of the faculty in the College of Business and Public Affairs, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Will the candidates please rise and come forward to receive your diplomas?
Sierra Burkmeyer. Nicholas Rogers Carden. DeAndre Jamal Jackson. Dijon DeGerald Lee. Vernon Earl Moland. Courtney Monique Oliver. Timotheus Peoples. Chaz Michael Wilson. Jalen Zakia Brown. Terry Joan Brown. Cedric Lamont Coleman. Courtney Danielle May DeVold. Taylor Savannah Sunkett. Benjamin Lee Ashley. Cameron Dwight Bender. Artravius Dewan Boyd. Dominique Rashawn Bryant. Daryl Cardell Davis Jr. Carlos Garcia. Julian Enrico Griffith Battle. Sierra Rose Owens. Ariel Praise Smith. Chelsea Patrice Smith. Kayla Clarice Tannehill. Barney J. Walker. Jakira Omonique Warren. Adrian Nicole Watson. Rolanda Denise Agee. Antonio Bernard Anderson Jr. Tyshawn Rashad Davis. Miguel Devontae Etheridge. Michael Dominique Johnson. Ayana Cherie Lachlan. Jordan Miles Perry. Chelsea Lene Rivers. Casey James Warner. Cortland R. Williams. Jalen J. Wright. Amber Nicole Banks. Jessica Alicia Deshaw Bradford. DeAndre R. Brown. Octavia Lynn Brown. Kanisha Elena Dickerson. Courtney Carche Dorsey. Kiara Lachey Edwards. Takira Deshawn Faulkner. Shayla Olivia Gildersleeve. Asia Renee Grant. Brandy Sierra Kirkpatrick. Whitney Patrice Meadows. Laisha Chantel Moore. Courtney Cassandra Pickett. Tracy Lamar Ridgel. Shayla Loren Salandi. Richard Leval Wiley III. Brian Andrew Williams. Sanithia Dominique Mount. Jasmine Marie Halbert. Tyrashawn Jonah Hayes. DeAndre Terrell Marquise Marks. Owen Pearson Stubberfield. Isaiah Malik Williams. James Foster Owens Willis. Jamarius Marshawn Brown. Patrick J. Burrows. Charmaine Rihanna Dock. Kenneth Jermaine Durr. Narcisse Rebecca Howard. Latisha Arnez Watkins. Desmond Marvis Jordan. Cordarius Martez Moore. Evan Alexander Murphy. Quinshayla Leisha Jackson. Mariah Nichelle Williams. Jessica A. Alferos. Devin Jamal Anderson. Larry Bogan Jr. Essence Nicole England. Terriana Monique Mustin. Raven Sierra New. Shamika Michelle Pinkney. Shanitra Renee Schamberger. Tiara Tamara Taylor. Kenji Portia Walker. Matthew Hosea Walker. Tiffany Renee Boyd. Bria K. Cook. Justin Robert Erskine. Kia Ariana Jeter. Kim Lee. Jamila Michelle Matthews. Jasmine Danielle Reed. Shannon Nicole Stewart. Anisha Tiana Thompson.
Provost Swims.
Dean Walton.
Based upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Arts, Education, Humanities, and Behavioral Sciences, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Will the candidates please rise and come forward to receive your diplomas?
Kaylin Nicole Anderson. Kimberly Janae Brown. Selena Tierra Brown. Ajane Deanna Tan Buchanan. Taylor Lewis Burns. Morgan Dijon Crutcher. Ebony J. Curry. Bria N. Edwards. Sigava Lanite Falilia. Tiaja Mafrini Fletcher. Karina Taylor Henry. Julian C. Howell. Malcolm Isaiah Johnson. John Martin. Courtney Carolyn Maxey. Wesley Evan McCain. Jasmine Yvonne McKenzie. Howard L. Milton. Jennifer Onukwa. Shambria Nicole Perry. Maya Janae Robinson. Spencer A. Ray Traylor. Kendra Rashawn Travick. Angelica Rashawn Brown. Zorian Alexandria Bailey. Lawanaki Rochelle Cooper Daniels. Essence Tamika LaShawn Miles. Madeline Peebles. Rachel Smith. Jasmine Brianna Walker. Dakota Anderson. Taylor Simone Avery. Denise Maria Bell. Angie Dolores Foreman. Tiana Cedrice Holston. Michaela Veronica Hoskin. Diamond Celeste Johnson. Tajay Embry. Kayla Ariel Lang. Kirsten Shanice Lewis. La Trinity Antianta Lewis. English Martha McKinley. Marcus Lawrence Merriweather. Devin Alexandra Mitchell. Josiah Ishmael Plummer. Shaliqua Nakitra Pond. Aaliyah Charnay Riley. Jordan Nicole Singleton. Simone Shanice Vaughn. Brittany Brashay Walker. Jared Boyd Whitaker. Jessica Simone Williams. Sierra Monique Branch. Shamarian Keontae Burks. Thomas Patrick Cooks, Jr. Alex Will Dias. April LaMonica Grove. Christopher Glenn Gladden. DeAndre Keith Jefferson. Rodarius Lamar McKinney. Jaquita Unique Norwood. Christian Lynn Solomon. Danisha Jasmine Tyus. Tiara Olivia Wright. Caleb Norton. Uzel Laban Stewart Jr. Frederick Tyrone Walker. Chandrell Jonay Williams. Ebony Michelle Garner. Anthony A. Jones. Monique Renee Collins. Cameron A. Davis. Nia Gabrielle Flanagan. Jaquise Simone James. Brittany S. Barker. Amber Tanae Bell. Raven Nicole Harrison. Maria Denise Snow. Ashley Brianna Washington King. Riley Joe Bosmeyer. LeBron King. Angela Denise Parham. Brianna Lawrence. Dayterica Sinette Menifee. Garrett Sloman. DeMarco Dwayne Coleman. Keontae Johnson. Sakaya J. King. Sakara Janae Logan. Mario Jamal Oliver. Dornisha Michelle Robbins. Sharare Ariel Smith. Delani Lorraine Walton.
Provost Wims,
Dean Glenn,
based upon the recommendation of the faculty in the College of Engineering, Technology, and Physical Sciences, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Will the candidates please rise, come forward to receive their diplomas.
Roland Donald Barton III. Matthew Clark Dowdell. Zachary Tyler Duncan. Jada Nicole Gray. Richard Anthony Hammond Jr. Rashad Kavosky Hinton. Kadre Shaquille Holloway. Michael Nicorian Howard. Alvinte Kursky. Michael Jamal Land. Thomas DeMarcus Lewis. Victor James Lightfoot Jr. Christopher Richard Muirhead. Tiara Shante Strong. Tavian David Thompson. Zedric Leon Wells. Tiandria Sharmise Wembley. Patrick Devon Alsobrook. Charles Edward Baker. Frederick Montez Boyd. Courtney Cordell Brown. Brandon Marcel Cook. Eve Michelle Diallo. Johnny Lee Flowers. Michael J. Glenn. Trevine Antonio Grant. Amira Nicole Hyder. Ronald Tyshawn Johnson. Bruce Antonio Jones. Jason Marcus Perry. Lance Taralate Perry. Brianna Monet Portlock. Roderick Anthony Randolph. Oriana Rodriguez Montalti. Adina Marie Shaw. Marquise Cortez Thomas. Megan Throgmorton. James Earl Todd Jr. Pablo David Torres. Xavier Jermaine Turner. Pierre Deshaun Walls. Q-Etta Ward. Marquise L. Williams. Aisha Nicole Williamson. Akita Jazz Barnaby. Taylor Rebecca Lynn Edwards. Asia Marion Bethany Gilder. Shaquila Devontae McPherson. Deja Deanna Mitchell Davis. Lester Tariorio Perry. Tiana Mache Sanders. Adrian Siobhan Wiltshire. Darian Marquel Barron. Brian Matthew Cabell. Jeremiah Davis. Deshanae Mercedes Dixon. Brittany Nicole Edwards. Eric Dion Gilbert. Viraj Hollows. Cornelia Janice Howard. Drayon Johnson. Imani Lene Largen. Alexandria Marie Lewis. Mercedes Linda Mignon Manise. Devin Rashad McLean. Shakuri Jamar McDowell. Nigeria Chateria Odin. Wusham Amulala Ajuwali. Brandon Terrell Oliver. DeMarcus Juwan Pope. Shanna Rowe. Aaliyah Kenyatta Taylor. Rico Thomas. LaBrianna Marsha Thompson. Ivoriana Sharnice Williams. Kittis Zergo. Kadarius Javari Andrews. Terry Demetrius Cleveland Jr. Dion Ravel Johns. Wanemi Conrad Peary. Mikhail Dominique Purifoy. Marquise Chantenay Sanders. Jadlyn Thomas Smith. Rachel Guyton Sanders. Lauren Deja Walker. Brijanay Lanice Law. Cornelius Elijah Williams II. Joelle Alexandria Johnson. Andrew Sinclair Jones. Yannick Noah Palmer Tassima. Carvante P. Paxton. Jacob Self.
Will all candidates for graduate degrees please rise? Mr. President,
Mr. Provost,
I am pleased to present these candidates for the conferral of graduate degrees.
in accordance with the authority vested in me by the state of Alabama and the Board of Trustees of Alabama A&M University, and upon the recommendation of the Faculty in Graduate Studies, I am honored to confer upon you the master's degrees and doctoral degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Please be seated.
Now, will all candidates for bachelor's degrees please rise? Mr. President,
Mr. Provost,
I am pleased to present these candidates for the conferral of baccalaureate degrees.
in accordance with the authority vested in me by the state of Alabama and the Board of Trustees of Alabama A&M University, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I am honored to confer upon you the baccalaureate degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereunto. Undergraduates, you may move your tassels to the left. Please be seated. At this time, I will ask Colonel Taurus Smith to come to the podium to present those persons being commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Army. Colonel Smith.
President Huguini, trustees, platform guests, faculty and staff, alumni, students, family and friends. On behalf of the President of the United States, I now present to you the U.S. Army's newest second lieutenants.
Rowland Donald Barton III, Springfield, Illinois, active duty, Engineer Corps. Jamarius Brown, Selma, Alabama, Army Reserves, Quartermaster. Zingafa Faleli, Velsac, Germany, active duty, Transportation Corps. April Grove, Lochapoka, Alabama, active duty, Ordnance. Victoria Ice Gibson, Huntsville, Alabama, Army Reserves, Quartermaster. Victor Lightfoot, Birmingham, Alabama, National Guard, Signal Corps. Raven New, Kansas City, Missouri, active duty, military intelligence.
We congratulate our newly commissioned officers and pray God's blessings upon them as they serve our nation. I would ask that all persons who are currently serving or have served in the armed services, please stand and let us thank you for your service. And I have the pleasure of presenting to you Mr. Albert Benefield, the President of the Alabama A&M University National Alumni Association, who will, by declaration, induct the class of 2018 into the association. Mr. Benefield.
Thank you, President Hougini. Will all the 2018 graduates please rise? On behalf of the National Alumni Association, Incorporated, I now declare you to be active members of the Alabama A&M University Alumni Association with all the rights, privileges, and obligations associated with membership. Congratulations on your accomplishments. A copy of the Normalite Creed is in your program. I challenge each of you to live this creed and continue to let your light shine so that it might be seen for others as a guide. You may be seated.
Before I present the charge to this wonderful class, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize some individuals present. Beginning with the members of our Board of Trustees, I will ask that they stand and you hold applause until all have been recognized. Trustee Jerome Williams, Trustee Chris Robinson, Trustee Wayne Watts, Trustee Cherie Banks, Trustee John Hackett, Trustee Nichelle Gainey, Trustee Kevin Ball, Trustee Dr. Jeanette Jones, and Trustee Ingram. Would you please stand and be recognized? Good. We have members of the Alabama legislature that are present. Representative Laura Hall, would you please stand, as well as Representative Anthony Daniels. If there are any other elected officials, please stand. Any city officials, county officials, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you very much for your service. Members of the President's Cabinet, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. All of our Associate Vice Presidents, Deans, and other administrators, please stand and be recognized. Will the spouses of the members of the Board of Trustees please stand and be recognized? First Lady of our university, Mrs. Abigail Hamilton Hughini, please stand and be recognized. Will our Queen for the year 1819, Miss Idea Burgess, please stand and be recognized. Members of our faculty, my esteemed colleagues, the faculty of Alabama A&M University, please stand and be recognized. All faculty members. Will the dedicated staff of Alabama A&M please stand? All of our staff members. All the retirees of Alabama A&M, retirees, please stand. All of the alumni of Alabama A&M University, all alumni, please stand and be recognized. All of our alumni. For the very best students that exist at any college or university in this nation, the students of Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University, please stand and be recognized. All of our students. Thank you. I would ask graduates if you would please express your appreciation to your families, your friends, your other supporters that have allowed you to achieve this milestone. Please, graduates, stand and salute your supporters. Now, graduates, as you go from this place, never forget the lessons that you have learned here. And remember that you did not do it alone. It took the combined efforts of faculty, staff, alumni, your parents, your grandparents, and other supporters. Paraphrasing the words of Dr. Richard E. Spaulding, may your learning become wisdom. May the time to come season what you know with humility, patience, and understanding. May your learning become empathy. May the people you meet and the stories you hear cause you to put what you know into the service of compassion. May your learning become commitment. May the questions you ask and the questions asked of you move you to enact what you know with principled conviction. May your learning become service. May the problems you encounter call you to pour out in generosity what you know in both your mind and your heart, remembering that service is sovereignty. May the preparation for life that you have gained here convict you to remember this university by giving back and being a great ambassador for Alabama A&M. May the holy and indelible blessings that is upon you now go with you, abide with you, and encourage you tonight, tomorrow, always, and evermore. So even as the sun sets on this one chapter in your life, the dawn of the next is upon you. May you enter into it wholeheartedly and in peace. This is our hope and desire for you. Congratulations. Would you please stand now for the university hymn and remain standing for the recessional.